Hello friends, again I am today before you with the model answer of yesterday's question. So if you remember, yesterday we gave a question from Indian philosophy, and today we will be discussing and seeing the model answer of that question. So now let us see what was that question and what can be the answer for that. Now the question, as you see, was, is Indian philosophy essentially spiritual and soteriological? Critically evaluate. Basically, this we have to answer in about 300 words. This is a 20 marks question here. So, it's very clear that first we have to explain uh, in very brief that what is Indian philosophy being spiritual and soteriological means. Then we have to also see what are different systems of Indian philosophy and how they are spiritual or soteriological, or how they are not, basically. Because the question is they, are they? So that we have to examine. And then in the question itself, critical evaluation is mentioned. So we have to critically evaluate the whole concept. So this is what we have to do. So now let us see how the whole answer looks like. So first we'll start with introduction. Indian philosophy is widely perceived as essentially spiritual and soteriological, with the central aim being moksha, that is liberation from the cycle of samsara, that is rebirth, and dukkha, that is suffering. So this is the main aim of Indian philosophy. Now, this clearly says that it's spiritual as well as soteriological also. Now, this orientation is evident across many systems, but a critical examination reveals that plurality of concerns, including rigorous inquiry into logic, epistemology, and ethics, sometimes independent of soteriological goals, are also available in those systems. So basically, what we are trying to say is, yes, widely Indian philosophy is spiritual and soteriological, but if we start examining minutely, then definitely there are traces or rigorous traces of logic, epistemology, and ethics also imbued in the different systems. So once we start examining what are the basic tenets of different systems, we will try to understand that. So now first let us say the affirmation thing, that is, what are those systems where dominantly soteriological orientation is present. So let us first examine those systems, and then we will go to some other systems also, and then we'll try to critically examine the whole concept. Now, most classical Indian darshanas aim at liberation. Now, what are they? Let us see. Now, in Advaita Vedanta, liberation is the realization of identity of Atma and Brahm. So this is in Advaita Vedanta of Shankaracharya. Transcending ignorance, and mainly texts are Brahma Sutra Vasya and Upanishad. So these are the texts which explain Advaita Vedanta, or in which Advaita Vedanta philosophy is explained. Now Sankhya, another system. There Ishwar Krishna is the philosopher, and Sankhya Karika is the book. Sankhya posits liberation, that is Kevalya, as separation of Purusha and Prakriti. So this is Sankhya's concept of liberation. In yoga, that is Patanjali's Yoga Sutras, Patanjali has written Yoga Sutra, liberation is achieved through disciplined cessation of mental fluctuations, chitta vritti nirodh, that is cessation of mental fluctuations. So this is the yoga way of achieving liberation. In Buddhism, Gautam Buddha, Dhammapada, Majjhima Nikaya, these books see nirvana as cessation of suffering through eightfold path. In Jainism, again, the book is Tattvarth Sutra by Umaswati, focuses on the soul's liberation from karmic bondage through asceticism and three jewels. That is right faith, right knowledge, and right conduct. So this is Jainism way of achieving Kaivalya. Now these systems, above mentioned systems, that is Advaita Vedanta, Sankhya, Yoga, Buddhism, Jainism, link philosophy closely with existential transformation, emphasizing ethical conduct, right knowledge, and self-discipline as prerequisites to liberation. Now, I mean, this is main, I mean, broadly, we have explained those systems where, yes, liberation or, I mean, is described, and these systems can be considered as broadly soteriological. Now, what is counter view and what are the critical evaluation of the whole concept? Let us see that. Several other schools in Indian philosophy diverge from this soteriological focus. Now, what are they? For example, Nyaya Vaisesik. Gautam's Nyaya Sutra. Gautam was Nyaya philosopher, and he has written Nyaya Sutra. Similarly, Vaisesik, aligned philosophy, Nyaya Vaisesik, usually we say together. So, Vaisesik is Kanad, when Kanad was philosopher of Vaisesik system, and he has written Vaisesik Sutra. So, Nyaya Vaisesik basically both prioritize logical analysis, ontology, and epistemology. That is Pramana Shastra, with moksha treated as byproduct of right cognition. So here moksha is treated as byproduct of right cognition rather than central pursuit. So basically what we want to say is that Nyaya Vaisesik system is differing from Advaita Vedanta or even Sankhya Yoga, Buddhism, Jainism, etc. Now another system, Purva Mimamsa of Jamini. So Jamini has written Mimamsa Sutra, emphasizes ritual duties and Vedic exegesis, downplaying metaphysical liberation. So they also, I mean, stress more upon rituals rather than metaphysical liberation. Then another system, Charvaka, that is, it's also called Lokayat, which is attributed to Brihaspati, denies moksha, karma, and rebirth, advocating materialism and empirical hedonism as the only valid approach to life. So they all together denied basically moksha or soteriology. So this is basically counter view and critical view pertaining to soteriological traces in Indian systems of philosophy. Now, modern scholars like B.K. Matilal and Daya Krishnan, they have reviewed this. They argue that Indian philosophy also contains a robust rational analytical dimension, especially in Navya Nyaya, that is Ganesha's Tattva Chintamani and Jaina logic. Jaina logic, you know, Saptavangina, Nayavad, all those things are Jaina logic. So basically what they are saying that Indian philosophy also contains robust rational analytic dimension and Jaina logic. I mean, Navya Nyaya and Jaina logic, it contains robust rational analytic dimension also. Now, what can be concluded? Indian philosophy is not monolithically soteriological. While spiritual liberation remains a major motive, it coexists with ethical, logical, and epistemological discourses. Hence, Indian philosophy or Indian thought must be seen as pluralistic tradition, integrating moksha-oriented schools with secular, pragmatic, and rational systems. So, what we are saying that both kinds of systems are present in Indian philosophy. So, some are predominantly soteriological, but some also basically emphasize on logic or rational analytical dimension also. That is epistemology or ethics. So that also needs to be mentioned. So this is a basic, conclusion which can be derived. So this completes the model answer for yesterday's question. Now today we will be taking a question from philosophy of religion, which we will be trying to answer tomorrow. Now the question is God a necessary being? Examine critically. So here in the question itself, critical examination is told. So we have to examine. So first we will have to describe what God being a necessary being means, and then whether God is really a necessary being, and then we have to critically examine the whole concept. So this question we will be taking up tomorrow for discussion, and then also we will be giving the model answer tomorrow. So thanks a lot for watching this video. Thank you one and all.